Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Pitstick at soulproof.com. We're talking about first-hand experience, another way of knowing that we are spiritual beings, and talking about childhood knowing, that children often age 5 or below will remember the spirit side and will be able to perceive events that sometimes adults cannot. When I was 5 years old, my parents were showing me a beautiful sunset, and I told them it reminded me of God. They only told me about that 20 years later when I was in theology school. And the question is, why would I, as a 5-year-old, have associated a beautiful sunset with God? And all the teachings I have to that point were traditional church teachings. So suggest a remembrance of where I was before I came here. One of my daughters, Ray Lynn, when she was 4 years old, her mother and I were both there. We had just finished reading a story. She had just fallen asleep, and we were just sitting there just looking at how beautiful she is. And she started talking in her sleep. And she said, I remember before I came here, it was always sunny and beautiful, and I always wore dresses. And, oh yes, Greg was there too. And Greg was one of her playmates she had met at preschool, and she and Greg just took to each other immediately, best friends. And then she paused and just kept sleeping. So we wanted to hear more, and we said, well, we just whispered, what else, Raylyn? What else do you remember? And that woke her up, and she said, oh, I was having a dream. Was she, or was she remembering how things were? In my radio show, Solutions, I asked Dr. Wayne Dyer when he first glimpsed that he was a soul, and he said, quote, I think I've known that since I was able to talk and think. Even as a little boy, I knew there was much more. I knew how not to be in pain. I knew how to cultivate the witness. It's almost like leaving your body. You get in back of it and just watch it. I spent 10 years in an orphanage, and at times it was lonely and sad. I was able to step back and become the observer rather than what I observed. I think that's a big part of higher awareness, of soul consciousness. End quote. So again, I encourage you, if your little ones start talking about another life or another time or something that doesn't make sense, listen to them, ask questions. You might be surprised what you learned. Now, another aspect of first-hand experience is glimpsing unity consciousness. That is, your consciousness or your awareness realizing that it's all one, it's all God. We are all connected, we are all interconnected. There's a great quote by Dr. Ken Wilber from his book, No Boundary, Eastern and Western Approaches to Personal Growth. He says, quote, unity consciousness is not a particular experience among other experiences, not a big experience opposed to small experiences. Rather, it is every wave of present experience just as it is. The true sages proclaim there is no path to the absolute, no way to gain unity consciousness. There are no means to the ultimate, no techniques, no paths, and this is only because it is its nature to be omnipresent, present everywhere and every when. It is this present experience which always holds our key to the search. I think we've all had these glimpses of unity consciousness. We'll be talking more about this in other videos. Be sure to visit the website, soulproof.com. All this information included in the book and documentary film Soul Proof. Learn it and benefit from it.